Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining our live event today. After yesterday's event, we were completely overwhelmed by the response we had, and really grateful that you guys are wanting to join us on this journey of quickly transforming the way we work and enabling our remote workers and our remote workforce to be productive in this difficult time we're in. Yesterday's event, just to give you a bit of feedback, we had such a big response that we tried using a Teams meeting, and because everybody and so many people tried to join at once, the meeting room actually crashed or lagged behind and couldn't cope with the amount of attendees at a time. Hence, we're redoing this now today as a live event, which is also part of the Microsoft Teams application. And in a live event, you could have up to 10,000 people viewing the live event. Mitten, hello. Thanks for joining us. And I'm just going to run through just the anatomy or what you can see on your screen. So you'd see my desktop with me, hopefully on the side of it, presenting. And on the right-hand side, you'll have your Q&A. So you can fill in your Q&A questions there. You'll also have a setting there to turn on captions if you like. And the meeting is being moderated by myself and John. So as you ask your questions, John will either respond in the Q&A, or if it's something that I need to demo and show you guys, I will show it to you in the live event. So yeah, let's get started. Thanks for joining us again, and I'm sure that we all learn a lot today and get a lot of takeaways from this. So just to, as per introduction, my name is Louis Trichard. I work for Advanced Technology team at First Technology KZN. My role is a partly solutions architect, partly modern workspace or Microsoft evangelist. My focus is pretty much solely cloud and remote communication and creating modern workspaces for people to communicate, collaborate effectively in. I'm completely certified, obviously, and I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. So if you need for us to assist with one-on-one training or more in-depth training, I'm more than happy to assist with that. All queries for today's session, all queries for today's session can be directed through to our account managers, and they will be happy to assist you. Again, yes, yeah, you can see my black Windows wallpaper. Jean will share my screen, my face to the side shortly. So Jean, if you can share that for us with a dual view, then that should help. Okay, so we're going to jump in today into Microsoft Teams. What is Teams? And we're going to show you a few things in Teams. So what I've done in the meantime is you should see my screen popping up now. Is I created a user, demo account user, and I signed into the Microsoft Teams environment. Now in this environment, you can see the layout. And why Teams? Why do we suggest Teams? Well, most of you guys in most organizations would have a Microsoft licensing in place. You would also have Office 365 licensing that includes the Teams agent. Now the Teams agent is a tool from Microsoft to facilitate one-on-one conversations, facilitate group conversations, and facilitate organized team conversations. But not just conversations. It is also there to facilitate document sharing, collaboration, co-authoring, using third-party products like Adobe Sign to send out documents for signatures, to assist with planning in our environment. So I'm gonna walk you through. I'm gonna walk you through this the anatomy and the working of the the product, and then hopefully you guys will get a little bit of understanding and using it more frequently and better in your environment. Okay, so firstly on the top right hand side, you'll see your profile. Now I just want to talk you through a couple of tips and tricks that I found useful in setting up teams. So firstly, if you click on your profile, you'll immediately see I'm available. This is tied to your calendar, so the availability can be changed here. So you can change to busy, do not disturb, be right back, or appear away. I can also set a status message. Now, working remotely, especially from home in this time here, is that I've got to, I'm working in my home environment, and you sometimes have to step away to have a sandwich or speak to your family or have a lunch break. And the nice thing with the status is that I can say I'm quickly having lunch, I'll be back at a certain time, and I can show this message to people that message me, and I can also have it clear after a certain amount of time. I can communicate quite effectively. Okay, so that is one of the nice features in Teams, where I can set a status message, set my status, and have it disappear after a certain amount of time. Then what I can also do is on here is my settings. If I go into settings, you see there is a theme. Now, my advice to you is to use a dark theme. I find that's easier on the eyes. If you sit in front of a PC 8, 9, 10 hours a day, there is difficulty around just seeing. So I normally change mine to dark mode, but for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to leave it in the default mode just so that you guys can see it. And then in here, something I'd like to change as well as my notifications. Now, I haven't changed this. This is the standard setup coming out the box. So you can see you've got mentions, messages, other, and highlights for you, and you've got meetings and status. So these I can customize. So if somebody mentions me personally, I can change that to either a banner or only show in the feed. Chat messages, I can even turn that off, so I don't get mentioned in only see a mention in the banner or in the email, or turn it off. So that is where I can manage my notifications. The reason why this is important, if you're like me that get distracted quite easily, if you get a pop-up at the bottom of your screen constantly where people are trying to message you, that can be distracting. So you can manage that in your own environment. So this is quite important. The other settings, I'm not going to go through. You can look at it. It is around managing priority access. In other words, who can send me a message to disturb me? In my case, I'd put this as my management. So the 3 people that can disturb me during meetings will be Oliver, Nasima, and probably Janita. So the one signs my paycheck, the one signs my leave, and another person employed me. So those are the sort of 3 important people in my life that I want to get disturbed by. But as you can see, on a serious note, you can add in people that's allowed to disturb you when you're set to a do not disturb function. Then looking a little bit further at the top, you've got a command bar here that's quite useful for searching. So the searching is quite good. So if I type in a person's name, so if I want to quickly send a message to Oliver, I will type in Oliver's name and see what it does. It opens up the people in my directory, and you can see I can click on Oliver and it'll open up a chat to him, and I can then send him a message. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, and I'll send him a message. Now, while I can find people like this, I can also do a more in-depth search. So if I go type in, for instance, Senzo, okay, it'll give me Senzo's name. But if I go click on the search itself, it'll actually open up the more in-depth search. So it'll look for messages in my environment that has got Senzo in it. It'll also look for people. So there's all the people in our organization, Senzo. So Senzo is a colleague of mine. And if I had any files that I have access to that's in Teams that I want people to see, then that I'm allowed to see. So files I've got access to that's got the letters SENZ in, I will see those files here. Now again, this is a demo account I set up, so I don't have any files in there. So you can see that Oliver replied back. So if I go to my chat, you see that little red dot there. He replied, "Awesome sunny day in Durban." Unfortunately, I stay close to the beach, and I can confirm that. So you can see that the one-on-one chat works. Another cool tip at the top here is if I eventually have a lot of meetings, so a lot of meetings or a lot of groups that I've created, it will pile up under the recent here. So if I type in Oliver, for instance, it'll show me all the group chats or meetings that Oliver is part of in my calendar. So that is another cool functionality around the search. Guys, just as a note, we have resent out a live link. So there is a live link to join the webcast. The meeting, join the Teams meeting link won't work. It will be the live webcast link that you'll be able to see this. Okay, getting back to this. Another cool functionality of the search bar is the @ button. So if I go click @ I can direct a message at different people while I'm in the chat here. So I'm busy chatting to Oliver here. You know, he's talking about the sunny day in Durban, and I want to quickly send a message to Robin. And I'm going to go @ Robin, and I want to say, can you join a chat quick? Okay, question mark. I hit enter, and it sends a message to Robin while I am still in the chat with Oliver. Now that is very cool because now I don't have to jump around on the left-hand menu side to get into a conversation or get someone a conversation up. I can be working here and then I can send Robin a message. And you can see on the left, it actually created that conversation on the left and it said send the message to Robin. If I'm back here with Oliver and she replies back, yes, you can join, I can go add. So it's to the top here, add people. Add, and I can go type in Robin's name. So I'm going to type in Robin's name here, enter, and then add her. And now it's created a new conversation, okay, that is now consisting of myself, Oliver, and Robin. And I can say, hi guys, we need to discuss the weather. Okay, and now it's created that conversation, and you can see now, hi guys, we need to create the conversation. Now, if I go at the top here, because this discussion is about the weather, I can go change that topic and call this weather discussion. Okay, and now I've got a topic that I'm discussing with Robin and Oliver, and I can see in my recent chats, if I need to search for it, that it is a weather discussion. And if I were to go into here and I type in weather, it will give me the weather discussion there. You see, so I can go search the dynamically for the discussion. Now I see a lot of questions coming through. The guys are just asking around that. I'm quickly answer that. A banner is I want to publish that. So a banner is a pop-up on the side. So if somebody sends me a message, it pops in on the side and it just says, hi, you've received the message, or you've missed a call, or somebody wants to talk to you. It'll send you notification coming at the bottom side of your screen. So I hope that answered the question. The other question I have is, can you use Teams to communicate to people on Skype? Yes, you can. So currently it's set up so that you can communicate with Skype for business users. So if I'm in a Teams organization and I want to communicate with somebody in Skype for business, I can by typing their email address, and I'll show you that now. So if you go here, you go new chat. So by the way, that's a new chat which you guys should use. If I type the person's email address in here and hit enter, it will pick up that that person's name. If they're in Skype, it will actually show you that you're talking in Skype. The federation with Skype consumer, okay, it will be done by end of April. So from safely say the first week in May, you'll be able to use Teams to communicating with people in Teams, in Skype for Business, and with Skype consumers. So it'll be a one standard platform for all your communication needs. So that is just to answer a couple of the initial questions here. And I'm going to publish that because I've answered that quickly, guys. So I'm just going.
Louis, please check Yvonne's questions. She's got 2 questions there.
Yeah, I can see that. Just can you delete chat history, Wayne? Yes and no. So chat history is persistent. So if I go back to the chat history here, I can go delete my messages. So I can go delete the messages that I put in, but I can't go delete delete other people's messages. So I can mark it in red, save this message, share it to Outlook. I can even translate it, but I can't delete it. Okay, so I can delete my messages. If you want to have a complete history log, you in the admin center can go disable message delete, and you'll have a complete log. And while I'm on that topic, email has literally just grown out of proportion. And there's thousands and thousands of emails clogging our inboxes that could be handled in Teams. So, if I want a report from Ollie, I can say to him, hey, Ollie, the report we discussed, I'm almost done with it. Boom, in a message. I'm not clogging up mail backwards and forwards, and the communication stays in a container with Oliver. Where email should be for more formal communication inside and outside the organization. So yes, you can and delete your own chats, but you can't delete other users' chat. Yes, it's also more data light than Skype. They use a completely different protocol, so that is light. Yes, we are going to a little bit more deeper stuff, so I'll be touching that. Yvonne, your questions are pertaining to the education teams. And I honestly like, if I can, take that offline, and we can discuss Teams for education. So just as a note for the guys there, Microsoft has made Teams available free of charge to students from the ages of 8 to 24. If you go to mahala.ms, you can sign up for a free Office 365 account for your students and for your kids, and they'll ask for the ID number and they can get a free sign up. But any education questions I'd like to address in a separate session, if that's possible. We can possibly arrange another session for that. Okay, so yes, Robin will be able to see my history. And I'll answer more questions a little bit later. Okay, so getting a little bit more in depth is that in this conversation, the group conversation, weather discussion, I can share files. So I can share files with people. And so with Robin and Oliver, I can go click share, and I can upload it from OneDrive or my computer. I advise you use OneDrive, because when I upload a file from OneDrive, it creates a link there. And if you edit it, you're editing one document. I'm not getting into OneDrive today, but OneDrive is awesome for collaboration. And if you upload documents, then you can have up to 250 people collaborate on that documents together. So that is the share functionality. And again, you can add tabs. You can add tabs for PDFs, Power BI dashboards, for streams. You can also add a website. Now, I'm going to talk about the website adding just now, and you can add these third-party applications. Another cool tip or trick is if you want to add more people to this conversation, you can. Now, if I want to add, I can leave a conversation, but if I want to add more people, it will now ask me, who do you want to add? And I want to add Janita, and it'll ask me, don't include the chat history, okay? Include history from the past number of days, or include all chat history. So I can include all chat history and then add Janita to the conversation. And then what it's done is it doesn't create a new conversation. It literally just adds it to the existing conversation. So so that is how to manage group conversation. Now, the reason I'm showing you group conversation is because you want to try and stop team sprawl. So you want to stop, too many teams just popping up for short periods of time. So a group conversation is nice to discuss projects, and it can also join people across teams into a group conversation. So, for instance, if you wanted we'll use the weather. So if you want to discuss the winter weather with different departments, we can add the people into this group and we have a discussion, and that discussion might stay alive for 2 weeks, where the life cycle of a team is much longer. So that was quickly just around conversations. And again, I can do normal audio calls or video calls to this group conversation, or I can do a one-on-one call with Oliver, or a video call. I can also share my desktop. The reason I can't do it here is because I've cheated a little bit. I've opened this up in a web view. So this is actually the web application. So the sharing desktop function is not available right now. But otherwise, all the functions are available. It is not just around external users before we carry on to the teams itself. So setting up external users is very easy. So you don't have to federate the environments. You just have to allow guests to be invited into your environment. And again, the administrator can set that up. And if I wanted to add a guest, I will simply go to new chat, okay? And I can type in the guest user's email address. It will tell me that it's a external user. I hit enter, and then the guest user is part of the conversation. The reason I can't demo it to you here is the way that we've set up teams internally. We're using a hybrid environment between Skype for Business and Teams, and we're in the process of setting up the external users. So we're also using it as a PABX. So the Teams becomes a PABX replacement. But yeah, to answer your question there, it's very easy to initiate chats and calls and inviting external users. So is there a limit of file size? The limit is for OneDrive. So the limit of file size you can share is a 1 gig file. So you can upload a 1 gig file quite easily. The limit is more. I don't, you're not going to share movies on this. So you're not going to share videos on this. So if you are going to be sharing files, it'll generally be document files. The limit is sort of 1 gig. Can you export a chat? Yes, you can. You'll do it out of the admin center to export a chat. Okay, so that is the questions that I responded to. Yeah, please. Yes, yeah. So Mahala is for all the schools. You can mail them, they add you, and then Microsoft has made Teams and Office 365 available as part of the school's agreement. So again, chat to one of our licensing experts, and they will be able to assist you. Okay, let's move on to some more interesting stuff on here. So let's move on to Teams. Now, So when do you create a team? Why would you create a team? And how do you use teams? Now, I've seen, in my many consultations and dealing with a lot of massive customers to smaller SME customers and SMB customers, is that there's got to be structure in creating the teams. You got to put a measure in place that teams creation needs to get approved. And the reason I say that is that teams should be set up in either departmental fashion. So you'll set up a team as finance, HR, sales, marketing, technical, RMS, etc. And then you'll add members to that team. And generally, what I found works best is if you have departmental heads or business unit leaders requesting teams. Okay, so they request it, or they can create it themselves. But the better way is to request a team. A admin person creates the team, makes the business unit leader or the department head or the manager the owner of the team, and then they can add the members in there. So let's go look at creating a team. So you can see here I've got 2 teams already. I've got a finance team demo, which I have got members in. And then we in First Technology has also got a company-wide team. Now, I don't want to share that too much because that is our internal platform where we communicate on. So you could set up a organization-wide team that everybody in the organization is part of, and you can facilitate communication through there. So you could share general documents, you can share chats. So we just use it at the moment to chat and communicate in, and you can add several tabs. So I'm going to talk through that now. But let's go create a team. So I'm going to go join create a team. So once I do that, it gives me 2 options. If I have a team code, I can join the team, or I can go create a team. Create a team, I can either do it from scratch or from existing Office 365 group. Now, again, your admins can set up 365 groups in your Active Directory. So building a team from scratch, I can either choose private or public. Now, the public teams would be for like a running club. So First Tech, and I'm using us as an example, we have a running club where guys in the organization can join up and they can see the events and all the information around the running club. That would be a public team. Private team would be departmental or project-based, etc. So I'm going to create a private team, and I'm going to call this management. We just call this the management team, not that I'm part of management. And again, I'm just going to call this a demo team so nobody goes in there thinking they can access it. So that's a management demo team, and I'm going to create it. And once I create the team, I can then go add members to this team. Now I'm going to quickly add members to it. Okay, so there we go. Let's create the team. So you can see the management demo. And when you create a team, it's by standard creates a general channel. Now remember, a channel is a topic in a team. So if I have a management team, I just quickly want to go add members. So I can click the ellipsis and I can go add members. And I'm just going to go add members, and I'm going to add Oliver, Robin, Jean, Janita, top of my head, Stephen Yarlett. Okay, so I've added a few managers in there, and I click add. I'll obviously make one of them a co-owner with me, which would be Jean. So we'll make him the co-owner with me, and then I close. Okay, now I want to create channels. Now, just quickly going through a general channel, each team gets a general channel. Now, a general channel gets created with posts, so you can have general posts in that team, files, which then becomes the general file location for that channel. Now, I can put all my general files, so all the general management documents I can put in here. And if I click the synchronize button, it'll actually synchronize a copy using the OneDrive agent down to my machine. So that becomes my file share. So no more need for file service with file shares and having unreliable VPNs to dial in to get your files. You can now facilitate teams because, again, a team is a security boundary. Each channel has its own file location, so I could in each channel have my own file shares in there, and if I need to synchronize it to my machine, I can. Then it's got a wiki. Now, a wiki is a how-to page. So if I've got certain procedures that needs to be followed in my organization, I can create a wiki here. So if I have a internet policy, sorry, my spelling, internet policy for management, I can go type out my internet policy in there. So I can create a policy. I can do my HR documents in here, HR procedures. I can just, if you think outside the box, you can put all your different procedures and policy documents in a wiki, and users can go in the team, can go see it, and they can go interact with it. You know, the clever guys at Microsoft reckons that people are more likely to go to a wiki and read it than to use to go to a file share and open up a document from a file share. So that's quite powerful. If you go to the plus tab, you know, I can add extra tabs. Now, just for the sake of time, I'm going to just touch on one or two of them. So I can go add a website. So generally what I'll do in a general channel is I'll add the ESS, Employee Self-Service, for instance. So First Tech uses ESS, and I can go add our ESS in there, and you'll see now what will happen is every time the user comes in here and he wants to go check his leave, do his pay slip, etc., he can go to general, go to the tab, and he can log in and do his stuff. He doesn't have to go out of Teams. So that's a quite cool functionality. So if you have web portals that your teams work on, you can add it as tabs in there. So just around files, I'm going to go add another channel first. So add a channel, and I'm going to call this, let's call this, I don't know, pay slips. No, let's call this HR documents. Okay, so that's a standard channel. I'm not making it a private channel, standard channel, and add it. Okay, so now you'll see it's created an HR documents channel. Again, new tab, post, files, and wiki, and I can go add on there. If I go to files, and then I'm going to go upload a file quickly. So I'm going to upload a folder actually. Also, that's creating a new folder. I'm going to upload a folder. I'm going to upload it from my machine. So I'm going to go quickly find it in my machine here. So it'll be under there, under demo, and I'm going to upload it. Upload, and now I've uploaded this into my file location. So you can see there's a folder there. So I've added it in there, and then once I go in there, you'll see the subfolders being created, and I'll be able to access it. Now, if I go to the, see, here's the salary increases. So this is something we work on a lot, for argument's sake, and I want to add that as a tab. I can go plus, add a Word document, name the tab, salary increases, and it will pick up the document here in under demo. I go into demo, it will pick up the document here, salary increases, save, and it will now add it as a tab inside the salary increases. So put a tab inside this channel, and it'll open it up so that I can read it and that I can also work on it. Okay. So again, I've just got a lot of connections happening at the moment. That's why I'm just taking a little bit of time to load. While that's loading, let me go answer some questions here. So, okay, Yvonne, I'll ask you questions. I'll assume if you do not have the standard Teams calendar available, your Outlook 365 has not been set up or activated. Yes, that's correct. If you are in Office 365 Mail, if you're using the Exchange Online, your calendar will be set up. You can still use Teams, but my advice is that your IT department should look at migrating your mail into Exchange Online. It's way more stable. You get a 100 gig mailbox, and there's a whole bunch of other features available. Please speak to one of your account managers, and I'll happily assist in getting you started. Then, how can I export a chat? Emil, again, to export a chat, you'll have to do it through admin functionality, but I'm happy to show you offline how to do that. So I'm just going to publish that. How does one create a live event? I'll cover that just now. Lee, we have been running Sky for Business and Mobile for 4 years, not down by the quality of the mobile application because they're okay. Yes, so Microsoft, what they've done, very good question there. So Microsoft has put a lot of work into the Teams application and the protocol it uses to communicate. So it is a lighter client and it is a lot better communication around the app. I've been using the app on my phone for probably over a year now. It is, or more than a year, it's about 2 years, more than 2 years. It's very stable. I've also linked up as a PABX. So I've linked up a SIP line, and I can make calls from it. As long as I've got network connectivity, it's very, very stable. So yes, it is a reliable business tool. Yes, okay, so how to manage, that's a good question before we carry on into Teams. So how do I manage more than one chat at a time? Now, you see what I've done is I'm open here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a separate window. So I'm going to open up a separate new and private window. So say, for instance, I want to have because you can't open up multiple sessions of Teams on your machine. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like it. So what I can do is go to a Chromium browser, so either Edge, Chromium, or Chrome. I can go to office.com. So if I'm in another organization, a guest in another organization, I can go sign into that organization, my credentials as a guest. So I'm going to just sign in here quickly just to show you the usability. Sign in here, and it's got my password, everything already. If I sign in here, Chromium and Edge, Chromium Edge and Chrome has got a great functionality is where if I go into Teams, it will open up my Teams space here. If I click on the ellipsis in Chromium or Chrome, there's a little button here, apps, install this as an app. So I can install this application as an app. So you can see here, I've got other apps already installed. So I've got other Teams that I've installed as an app. And that way, I will be able to pin it to my taskbar and have multi-group or multi-organization chats on 2 separate teams. So this year, what I've created here, this year is a app that I did from the browser. So I actually installed this as a app in my Chromium browser, so I can be able to do the demo while still be on a call with you guys. Okay, so last question that I'm going to answer before I go on with the Teams demo is Teams is built on SharePoint. So yeah, I say to customers, imagine Teams as being a single pane of glass into your SharePoint environment. So the back-end infrastructure of Teams is SharePoint. So if you are going to a files location, you'll see there not only can you synchronize it like a SharePoint library, but you can also open it in SharePoint, and that will actually open up the SharePoint site for this team. So my advice is chat to your account manager, and we can start a discussion on how to overlay teams on your existing SharePoint infrastructure. I've seen a lot of companies do this very successfully, and they get a lot more traction using Teams to interact with their documentations and sharing. And just last question, David, if you're running a hybrid Skype for Business, yes, we can assist with the setup and the contact messaging, contacts managing. Okay, so I'm not. Okay, and then I'll answer questions again just now. Okay, so getting back to the tab that I just added, the salary increases. I open it up. You'll see the salary increases. So I'm not getting increases here. Lee getting a big increase, and the other two getting the right increases. Now, if I edit this in here, Oliver could essentially, if he's on Teams, open this and come edit this with me at the same time. And you can have up to edit up to 250 users in a document. So that is Teams. That's to add tabs, to have conversations. You have the Meet Now function, which is quite cool. So I can go click on Meet Now, and it will invite everybody into the chat. Let me just escape that, and I can do a Meet Now on a channel or any of the channels. I can have Meet Now and discuss it. Just a quick thing before I move on to a little bit more in-depth stuff is you can add private channels. You can see this is a management channel, and there might be documents that only the directors want to see. So they could go add a channel, and they can call this directors only super secret. And I can go make this private. And next, and I can say only Oliver and Nasima. She's not part of this chat. So only Oliver and, for instance, Robin could access that channel. Click add, and then click done. And I can also change who can add to that. So now this becomes, so Oliver will be the owner. So if he wants to add more people to that private channel, he can. Done. And now it's created a private channel that this information is only available to users that's in that channel. So any documentation that they put in here will only be visible to Oliver and to Robin. Files I'll put in here will only be Robin and Oliver. Good. Now I'm going to go on to just one or two of the apps that you can add. So one of the key applications that people want to use or has used is Planner. So I'm going to add Planner. So again, you can add multiple channels to a team. So a channel is a topic in a team. So if you have a marketing team, you could have a channel for customer A, customer B, customer C, customer D, customer E, and so on. So you could actually have a marketing team and then have a channel for your customers. And then you can add a plan to a channel, and you can add multiple plans to a channel. So I'm going to create a plan in your HR documents, and this is plan's going to be interview process, improvement. So it's a strategy or plan that we need to do that. Okay. So I'm going to create a plan, and I'm going to go click save. What it does is when I create this plan, it immediately adds everybody that's in the team to that plan. Now, for that reason, you cannot add Planner, and that's the only caveat. You cannot add Planner to private channels or add forms to private channels. But in any other channel, you can add as many plans as you like. Now, I'm going to create a plan here. So again, HR documents, there's an interview process, and there's my plan. So a standard creates a to-do bucket, and then I can add buckets on. So I can go phase 1, enter phase 2, enter phase 3, enter phase 4. Now you can see how at the bottom I can control left and right. So I can add as many containers or silos or buckets that I want to add. And then in this, I can add tasks. Now also remember you can rename the buckets, so you can call it whatever you like. You know, I use phases here, but you can have a month-end process where you say the month-end process, week 1, this is what you do, week 2, this is what you do, week 3, this is what you do, and you can copy that plan. To add a task is simple, review documents, review contracts. The due date is, say, Friday, and I'm going to assign this to Jean, Oliver, and myself, demo account, okay? And then I want to add the task. Now, in phase 1, so I can now, the task is added, I can now drag it across between buckets. So I'm going to put it there, then I click on it, I can now build it out. So in here, I can say the priority is important or urgent. The start date, I want you guys to start today, or I can change that. And then I can put notes in, so you can see this is scalable, so I can put multiple notes in here. I can add a checklist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I had a checklist, I can add that in there. I can add attachments on there. And I can also have a conversation with the people in this task. So once I've built out my task and I'm happy, I can click outside of it and it's there, and I can go carry on building out my task. You know, you can rename this first bucket to tasks. I generally do that. And then, you know, fill out all your tasks and then put them in the correct buckets. Now, once this is built out, and I want to see the plan, so I just want to go. Yeah, it's actually not showing that in me in a web view. So you'll have. Let me go to planner here on the left. So you'd ask yourself, how do you manage my plan? So how do I manage what I've done? Okay, what I need to do. Now, if I need to see my plans, what I do in the morning is I come in here, I go to the planner icon at the bottom. If it's not on your screen, you can go to the ellipsis, see the icon, right click and pin it. So I can right click and pin it, and it will pin the icon on the left there, planner, and I can see all the tasks that assigned to me and not started. Then I can see all the tasks that I'm busy with in progress and all the tasks that's completed. Now this, when I go in, I say, okay, fine, I've been assigned a task to review the contracts. Okay, I'm starting today with it. I'm in progress with it, and I will add comments. Busy reading, will amend and respond. Okay. Once I've done, click out of it, and you can see now it's moved it to the in progress. Now, if I go back to that team and I go to the interview process, you can see how it's moved it on to the phase. So it moved it on to phase 1, and then I can move it between the phases. I just want to show you quickly in the app what it will look like as well. So in the app, so this is the application itself. You'll have the, let me just go, boom, boom, boom. Just find a plan. It's actually not showing it up there. So what you will have on your side, it's probably a glitch on my side at the moment, is charts and a schedule. So you'd be able to see the charts, so you can see the bucket where it's in, the schedule of the different tasks when they're completing, etc. So if you want some more in-depth questions about Planner, please feel free to share it with us, and I'm happy to run that through with you. But that is how Planner works. Let me just check the Q&A again if I missed anything. So let's go. Sure, there's quite a bit here. No, so it doesn't create a task in Outlook as such. It creates its own task list. But yes, it does integrate with Outlook and also send the user an email that he's been assigned a task. So generally, Teams is your platform where you work in. So you would go to Planner and see the task that's been assigned to you. It'll also send you reminders that you've got outstanding plans and tasks that needs to be created. Then I just want to just publish that and then dismiss that one. Sorry. Teams can email files directly. Yes, you can. So if you go to a channel, you can get the email address. I can get an email address for a plan or a channel, and then this email address is used to email documents directly to a channel. So if I'm working in Outlook and I want to send documents straight to a specific channel, not even a team, specific channel, I can use that email address to mail it to that team, to that channel. Yeah, very good question. I just want to publish that. Planner, is there a way to roll up all the Planner tasks from a few teams into one view? Yes. So Emil, the way that you'll do this is in the Planner application itself, and the easiest way is just for yourself to see what task has been assigned to you. It will roll up everything. If I go to all plans, and I will see it in here, all my plans, and I can see all my plans in one single space and all the tasks that's been rolled up into one. So yes, you can do that under the Planner tab. So I want to publish that. Yes, publish that. Obviously, rights management would also prevent actions don't drop into the channel. Would be, if a mistake happen, our teams also recognize. Yes, so Lee, the DLP, data loss prevention and rights management, does apply because again it's a SharePoint location, so all that rules will apply. So that's correct. So let me just publish that. Guys, we've got 7 minutes left, and I just quickly want to touch on a couple of other things as well. Okay, how to get Adobe Sign. So the Adobe Sign is a very good functionality. So what would happen is if you go to the ellipsis and you go more apps, okay, it will open up your app store. Now the admins can do this for you, and you can go sign up for Adobe Sign account or add the application. Once you've added the application, which I've done here, you'll have Adobe Sign here. So I can go in here. I haven't signed in because I don't have an account for this user, but this is account based. So once you sign in, it'll actually give you a list of documents that you've sent out for signature, a list of documents that has been signed, and give you an overview. So that is very good way to sign your docs. Honestly, I've tried and tested a lot of signing solutions out there, and personally, I'd 100% of the time point customers to Adobe Sign because it integrates so beautiful with Office 365. Yes, again, under Vision, under certain conditions, if the permissions has been granted in a group, yes, that can be achieved. Yes, you can, Emil. Correct. And we can take this offline. We can have a chat, and I can go through that with you, just because of the sake of time. Can Outlook be integrated as an app within Teams? Not natively just yet. So Microsoft is working on a solution to integrate Outlook into Teams, but that is on the cards. There are other ways to integrate it. So there are Power Apps available. So if you've got the Office 365 stack, you'll have a access to Power Apps. And in Power Apps, there is an application that you can link to Teams that will give you your email, inboxes and that. It will show you the preview of the mail, and then you can assign those mail to plans. So if you guys are interested in that, there is an application that I've tested and used myself, and that's available if you've got Office 365, where you have your inbox, preview pane, and then a place where you can assign emails straight to tasks. So yes, you can do that. Then can you archive contents for Teams? Most certainly you can. That is a admin task, but you can archive, definitely can archive Teams. David, yes, I honestly think you should run Teams only. If you don't have any native Skype deployments in your environment, as I said, Teams can be used as a PABX replacement. So we don't even get to touch that today, but you can add PSTN dialing into Teams. Just speak to the licensing guys. They will explain to you the licensing structure, but it's essentially a phone system license with a connection into our hosted SBC, which is sitting in our data center with Vaughan at FirstNet, and you'll be able to use Teams as a PABX replacement. Can documents be received only allow one person? Yes, it can, but generally, that will be the checkout feature to restrict people to edit a document one at a time. It's a SharePoint permission that we have to be set up, but yes, you can restrict editing of a document to a single person at a time. So the question there about the viewing of participants on the screen, I know certain competitors have allowed more pictures on the screen. By end of April, Microsoft will allow up to 9 big pictures, so they'll split the screen up into 9 blocks to see 9 people, and the rest, if there's more than 9 people in the conversation, the videos will be at the bottom. So yes, that feature will be available as of the end of April. They've started running it out, and the rollout process normally takes 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Yes, all the workflows are available. So again, that's a discussion. That's a little bit more in-depth discussion, but the SharePoint workflows are available in Teams because it's built on SharePoint, and we can definitely facilitate that. Yes, if somebody doesn't have Teams, so that's a very cool functionality about Teams, is that you can invite guest users in. So none of the other opposition does this properly. So you can have a Teams meeting, send the invite, and they can join as a guest just through the web browser. There's no need to install any agent or anything. They can join the meeting via the web browser. Okay, so at the moment you can't share recordings externally. The reason being, Stream is only for internal to the company. You can, however, download the video. So if an external party is requesting the video, you can download the video from Stream, save it in your OneDrive, and send the link to them, and they'll have access to the video. Okay, so yes. So yes, you've got to make sure that you use Teams. So Lee's question is, let me publish this question. Lee's question is, or stating that Teams devices. So yes, there are Teams certified devices, and we'll just have to make sure that you're using the right certified devices. Before I go into more details of the questions, I just quickly want to touch on calendar, because we're literally on an end. I can go on for a little bit longer, but on the calendar, to create a new live event is, if you're in the calendar, and this will only work in the application, in the calendar, you will see there'll be a new meeting tab at the top. Right next to it will be a little drop down. If you click that drop down, it will allow you to create a live event, which you then can, like we're doing today, have up to 10,000 people in there. A couple of other things we didn't touch on today is shifts. So if your organization uses shifts and you have shift workers like retail, hospitals, manufacturing, etc., I can manage shifts inside of Teams, okay? So I can manage the shifts and I can add multiple shift rosters in here. And the beauty for this is that your frontline workers, they possibly have access to a smartphone, and with the F1 license, they will have access to the Teams and their shifts, and you can manage their shift rosters through the Teams application. You can also manage time and tracking. So you can do time tracking and reporting. So if you look at the settings pane here, you can see they can manage their shift requests, they can copy the shifts, they can you can manage time clocking, etc. So, and the requests can be put here for approval or non-approval. So that is shifts, and then again, there's a couple of other applications like Stream that's built in that you can use in your environment. Guys, officially our time's up. I'm going to be hanging around a little bit longer to answer questions. For the guys that joined us, thank you very much. I really appreciate your patience and joining us. We'll be having a few more sessions after this. So I know Jean and our team has sent out invites to you guys to join us for. We're going to be discussing virtual desktop environment. We're going to be discussing the CRM team. Jean, I know you're on this call. I'm thinking I'm missing something. Is there something else I should have announced?
No, I think you've covered it. You can just hit the questions.
Okay, so guys, if you want to hang around for me responding to the questions, I'll be responding to questions for another probably 15-20 minutes or so. For the guys that have to drop off, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you need any help or assistance, First Tech, we are working, we are available 24/7, and we're really happy to assist you guys in anything that we can. God bless and stay safe. Cool, so let's go through the questions on the side here. So I presume that we need to back this up. Okay, so the backups, we'll use a third-party tool. A very good tool which I advise is Veeam Office 365 Backup. This will allow you to back up your mail, your SharePoint, and your OneDrive. Just remember, Office 365 is not backed up. Microsoft looks after the infrastructure, so they patch the systems, they look after the operating systems, the security, the physical infrastructure, but your data is your responsibility. So although they're highly available, they're not responsible whether your data gets deleted or not, okay? If a user goes in and deletes data and needs to recover it, Microsoft does not keep backups. They have a couple of fail safes in place, like recycle bins that will keep deleted stuff for 180 days, but it's not a backup. So again, for backups, chat to your account manager. I'm happy to do a session on Office 365 backup with Veeam. Phenomenal product, and a lot of you guys already have Veeam in place, so it'll fit very, very nicely into your current backup infrastructure. So that's that. Michael Kennedy has asked, when can we have an education session? Jean, yeah, I think there's been a big need for education session, so I'll chat to Jean and the team, and I can set up. We'll definitely set up a education specific session for you. Definitely, I think Teams is the way to go for education. Yeah, pleasure. Ush, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. Just publish that. Is this live event being recorded? Yes, Nat, it is being recorded. And John will make the recording available to you, and you'll be able to see it. Can Teams import tasks from Asana? Yes, sure, it can. So Asana can be directly integrated to into Teams. So again, I go into my apps, I go Asana, and there you've got Asana project management, and you can add Asana to your team's environment. Again, SharePoint workflows are being covered. So you can add Salesforce, you can add Asana, GitHub. If you're developing house, you can add GitHub. You can even integrate Zoom into Teams. Okay, so yes, you can. Jira, Azure DevOps, MindMaster, something I use a lot. All this can be integrated into your teams. Also, Adobe Creative Cloud can be integrated, and in their Salesforce as well. So let me just, okay, document restricted. Yes, I've answered that. Who do I need to chat to for assistance with external contact setup? David, chat to your account manager. They will get in and hold of me, and I will happily assist you in setting that up. How to add the calendar app? Again, it's part of the power. The calendar app. Yeah. So again, if you are already in Office 365, if your mail is been migrated to the Exchange Online, or you have a hybrid setup, then it will automatically have the calendar, the app on the left-hand side. If not, we'll have to migrate your mail into the Office 365 platform, or Exchange Online, to be able to access your calendar. So that's how you'll add the calendar app. What do I need to chat to is with external contact setup? David, again, you'll chat to your account manager, and they will put you in contact with me. What I'm doing is I've got so the question here is, hi Louis, please share the documents as you showed us yesterday. So I've got compiled a list of documents that talks around Office 365, Microsoft Teams, and the competitor products out there. And it's actually a grid view that shows you the features. So it's purely a feature matchup. I'll be sharing that link in this chat now. So I'll put the link up now, and I'm happy for you to go download the documents there. So there's it here, why Office 365. So I'm going to share this. So take that out the way. So share that, and I'll put the link up now for you. So just want to make sure allow editing expires in June. Apply, use new expiration, and then copy link, copy, and then I'll place it into the announcement. So you'll see in the announcement window, there's a link to all the documents that I was speaking about. So if you go in there, you'll see all the documents that I've uploaded there, and you can download it and read through those documents. So let's go in here. How does, okay, so you go to the bottom. I presume that, okay, I've answered that. What functionality will be lacking if a mixture of Office 365 is used with on-prem Exchange? So the functionality that you will lose is presence. So you won't be able to see presence. You also won't have the ability to search contacts. So unless your Active Directory has been synchronized with Office 365, you won't be able to search contacts. And again, you won't see the calendar. The connecting of this, you don't necessarily have to move your Exchange all the way into Office 365, but we can certainly assist you in setting up a connection. It's called an AD Connect sync agent that will synchronize the contacts, and you can connect up your Exchange under certain conditions, just depending on the version, so that you can see calendars. Okay. So again, I'm not sure who asked this question, but please speak to your account manager, and they'll happily assist with that. Do you have a link to OneDrive, or can you connect to a server? Do you have a link do you have to link to OneDrive, or can you connect to a server? I'm not understanding the question 100%. Do you have to link to OneDrive, or can you connect to a server? So OneDrive is part of the Office 365 stack, and your documents sit in the primary location there. So you would be connecting up to your location there. I hope that answers the question. Yes, Emil. OneNote is probably the most underutilized product in Office history. I love it because it can be allowed to collaborate. Also, the cool thing with OneNote is, let me show you another little trick that I didn't show earlier. So if I've got HR documents here and I want to add a OneNote notebook, I can go to plus, and I can create a OneNote notebook just for this channel. So it's going to ask me to fetch my notebooks, obviously. I don't have access to any. And then I'm going to say create. No, I want this management notebook. And I click save. And that will set up a new tab and a notebook that I can then use. Now, this will only show the tabs. So it'll only show, as you can see here, show the notebooks and the sections. So I can see the different sections. If I want to edit this notebook, I'll have to edit the notebook in the OneNote application. But yeah, this is OneNote with Teams. It's like cheese on bread. It's awesome, you know. So yeah, that is definitely a good way to use it. If I move to a new laptop machine, will all the settings, Teams, and contacts move to the new machine? No. So again, that's the beauty of Teams. If you get a new machine and you install the Teams application, as soon as you sign in, all your documents, everything will be in there. You might just have to synchronize the documents down to your machine again, but that will definitely be available. So Asanda, a good question. No, you don't have to worry about redoing all that again. Emil, when you create a team, it provisions a lot. How much does that affect your costs, and how much space does it take up, and are you limited to space? So again, everything runs in the Office 365 environment. So it runs in the Office 365 environment. So if you provision stuff, it provisions it in the environment. So an organization gets 1 terabyte of space plus an extra 10 gig per user in the environment. So if you have 100 users, you get 1,000 gig plus another 1,000 gig. So you have 2 terabytes of space in the SharePoint environment. Remember, if you are uploading files from your OneDrive, it only creates a link here. So if I go or to a chat, so if I go to a chat here to Oliver and I upload a file, I'll go click share and upload it from OneDrive. That doesn't take up on my space. I hope that answers the question, Bud. Again, we've got, okay, so where does recordings for team sessions go? They go into Stream. So if you go to a Microsoft Stream environment, so if you go to Office 365, so again, I'll show you on the screen here. If I go to office.com and I log in, you'll see part of your applications that you have access to will be Stream. So again, I've just got a multi-factor authenticate. So let me approve that quickly. If I can find my phone. So approve the sign-in. So then once it's approved, you'll see there I've got my waffle or launch page here. There is Stream, and if you go into Stream, your recordings will be saved under Stream. If I go to my content, you'll see my meetings. And then if I go to my meetings, all my recordings will be in here. And if I want to download it, I can download the meetings. I can click on the ellipsis, download the video, and share it. So yeah, that's available there. Okay, so again, the Stream recording is permission-based and can only be accessed by the people you give access to inside your organization. Okay. So Clive asked about more than 4 people on a video call. That feature is launching soon. So that will be launched by the end of April. You'll be able to see 9 blocks on your screen, and then the rest will show at the bottom on the ribbon. So yeah, that's coming soon. The files uploaded go into a database. What would be the suggested database drive allocation? Sean, I'm not sure about that question. Can you possibly email me and I can get a better understanding of that question? How does one create live events? Again, calendar. If you're in the calendar, you go to the top right there, schedule a live event. You won't be able to schedule live events if you don't have a Office 365 subscription. Live events is only available to a Office 365 subscription. Okay, so the education questions, I'd like to take that offline to a separate live event where I can demo the education environment for you. Guys, thank you for joining us. I see there's no more questions or no more open questions. Oh, there's one more. Richard, can you tag or save a post for future reference? Yes, you can. So, yes, so you can go tag a post. So if I'm in Teams, in general, if I go to my posts, I can go tag it. So go on here, I can mark it as unread, save this message. If I go to more actions, I can even create a poll. So if I need to have somebody vote on that, I can create a poll, but you will mark it as unread or save the message. In one-on-one conversations, you know, I can go to a chat and I can save the message, mark it as unread, or share it to Outlook. I can also pin chats. So again, I can also pin a chat so that it stays in the top there. In Teams, I can also pin a team. So I can, if I work on the HR documents a lot, I can pin this to the top of my Teams. So I can tag, save, and pin messages. Nat, no problem. Thank you for joining and listening to me. Guys, if there's no more questions, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate your time. All the best in this difficult time, and God bless. And if you need any help, please reach out to your account manager or the team at First Technology KZN. Thank you, everybody. I'll be online 2 more minutes just to answer any more questions.